The journey of the hero is filled with trials. Trials of courage. Trials of loss. Trials of war. Each forging the hero in the fires of resolve, wisdom, and strength, propelling them into the unknown. This journey never ends. The hero's journey is to become legend.
Hey guys, James Swan here with MMOHuts.com, and I'm standing here with Colin with Guild Wars 2. He's the game director, and you've had a pretty decent sized audience there for a really big reveal. Are you going to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Yesterday was a really exciting day for us. You know, we announced what has been a pretty well-kept secret, I think, in the MMO space. Our first expansion for Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. We announced it live here at PAX South. Had a theater full of folks going absolutely bananas yesterday while we announced it, and a massive group of people watching live on the internet. I think we're the #1 channel on Twitch yesterday during the announcement, which is huge. So that was really cool. This is really our chance to revisit and expand what we believe Guild Wars 2 can be as a game, and that's really the entire point of this expansion. After Guild Wars 2 came out, we got a lot of feedback, we got a lot of great suggestions, and we've been working from there to build out to the point today where, you know, a lot of the feedback we heard was people wanted bigger challenges. They wanted more ways to build their characters and progress their characters in PvE in our game. They wanted new game modes to compete in PvP. They wanted more epic experiences in our incredible world versus world experience. We're fighting against hundreds of players at a time in these big castle and keep sieges. And they wanted guilds to be a much bigger part of our game. And so a big part of this expansion is putting the guilds back in Guild Wars as well. So we're really trying to tackle all the major components of things that people said, hey, Guild Wars is an awesome game, it would be even better if you did X. We're trying to do all of those things and really lay a framework for where we can take Guild Wars 2 in the future. All of the things we're doing in this expansion are going to be the core systems that we build the game on in the future as we continue to update it and build more content from here.
Awesome. So it's a lot more than just a beyond exciting into the season 2 finale that we got a little cliffhanger on there. So with the new progression system, let's talk about that a little bit. What has changed, or what is going to change with this new expansion?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest pieces of feedback we got from folks from the original game coming out is they got to level 80, they had a great time, they loved building their characters, and they felt like the game needed a deeper system to continue to build and progress their characters. And they wanted harder challenges to tackle and bigger things to overcome. And so what this expansion is introducing is much harder, more challenging content for you and for your groups and guilds to tackle than we've ever done before. And we need a system to complement that, which is a progression system that builds your characters and builds up your ability to overcome those challenges. And we sat down and asked ourselves, what is the right way to progress our game? How are we going to add those kinds of challenges? How are we going to add progression? And the traditional answer would be add new levels and add tiers of gear. And ultimately, we feel like that just puts people on a treadmill where, you know, every year or two you go back and you have to go, all the hard work you've done is invalidated. It leaves a bunch of zones left behind you that are basically a wasteland of content that there's no meaningful reason to play there. And we didn't want to do that. We don't believe that's what Guild Wars 2 is about. You know, when we set out to make this game, we said we wanted to do something different. We wanted to innovate. And so we're not adding more levels. We're not adding more tiers of gear to our game. We're adding a end game progression system called our mastery system. It's a account-based system. So as you earn points towards these mastery abilities, you earn them for all the characters on your count at the same time. So you don't have to go back and grind through it all on every character. And these abilities basically allow you to master different components of Guild Wars 2. There are things like you get the ability to hang glide to master exploration. You get combat abilities that allow you to fight and survive against the creatures that live in our game. You can learn and master lore, and you can learn the languages. You can learn to understand the languages of new civilizations being added to the game. And you can master crafting and building by being able to build components to create legendary weapons within the game. Those are just some examples of the type of stuff our mastery system is going to add. But really it's a core framework for how we add endgame progression to our game and have meaningful, challenging content that progression uses.
And so along with that, we also see an announcement of new profession.
Yeah. So the new profession, the Revenant, is a new heavy armored profession. And Ritlock Brimstone, who's one of our famous characters from the game, right there, during our Living World Season 2, dove into the mists to chase after this powerful sword that was literally sucked into the mist. And while he's been gone, we've seen images of him pop up occasionally where he's wearing a blindfold and wearing this completely new set of armor. And that was us very carefully teasing that Ritlock was turning into something new. And at the start of the expansion, he returns as the very first of our new profession, the Revenant, that all the players are going to get to play. And it channels the powers of the mists, and in doing so, it can take on the aspects of great legends from Guild Wars history. And we have this really deep lore and history that stretches back almost a decade now from the original Guild Wars to Guild Wars 2. And so there are great characters that the Revenant can channel, and when channeling them, they get skills and abilities that tie directly back to who those heroes are. So you can channel the powers of the Dwarf King, and you can be a really tough frontline fighter who's hard to take down and really is you just hold the front for your group. You can channel the Demon Malix, and you can control conditions and suck them off of your allies, apply them to enemies. You know, each one of our different legends that the Revenant can channel completely changes the play style that you have, and we think that's a really exciting element to add to our game, and to get a new heavy armor profession in there too.
So we have a lot going on with guilds now. Like you said, you have you're going to put the guild back in Guild Wars. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with guilds, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So from a really high-level holistic standpoint, you know, we felt like one of the things that Guild Wars really could improve on was growing this concept of guilds being a key component of our game. And so we're giving guilds guild halls, so they have a home to operate from. And guilds will be able to progress and build their guild, and in doing so, build their guild hall. And it acts as a home base for them to go on missions. It acts as a place for them to build and progress together. It gives us a meaningful system of guild progression that we can perpetually expand on and give more and more exciting things for guilds to do in our game. On top of that, we are adding a brand new feature to our competitive PvP game mode, which is a guild leaderboard. And you can form guild teams, and these guild teams can compete in PvP to prove who are the best guild teams in the world in PvP. And we're really excited about that. There's a little bit of a legacy there from the original Guild Wars that it should be coming back with us, and we can't wait to see which guilds prove that they are the best.
This is going to be a separate standalone expansion, and yeah, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about that?
Yeah, correct. Straight up standalone expansion. You know, we're going to be bringing playable demos of the expansion to PAX East and Rezzed for folks who are in Europe. So it will be playable very quickly, and not long after that we'll open up beta testing so that players can start playing it and giving us feedback on it. Also, there's one more I think really exciting feature for players who may not have checked back in a while or who play regularly, and that's our specialization system. And specializations allow each of our existing professions to grow almost into a new profession, a new sub-profession, if you will. So like a ranger is going to be able to become a druid, and it means that they can use a brand new weapon, the staff. They get a whole new set of skills and traits and new profession mechanics that exist only for the druid in our game. And every profession in our game is getting a new one of these specializations. So that's really exciting, I think, for everybody. Every profession is going to get refreshed and all new content to play. So that's another big thing that we're bringing to Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns.
That's going to be awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, James.